Hey guys, today we're taking a look at my Fire Fist 4-axis deck. So if you're not as familiar with Fire Fist, usually people do a 4-axis or 3.5-axis deck. That's just based on the levels that you're using in the deck. If you want to mix the 3 and 4 stars, you can do different amounts of plays. But 4-axis seems to be more popular nowadays, and I guess just better in general. Just kind of spamming the 4 stars, making use of their powerful effects, and bringing out their XYZs as well. Fire Fists are just based on, spells and traps that back up their monsters, and then it's really about the fact that their spells and traps can search them out, they can search out their spells and traps give them additional effects, and it's just a complete cycle, which makes the deck very consistent and very strong, especially nowadays. So first off in this deck we're running 3 Bear, pretty much staple because he can easily just blow up monsters and get fire formation cards from the deck, so very nice card, pretty much staple at 3. Gorilla also very nice, allowing him to do similar things but allowing him to destroy spells and traps on the field, so again very useful. And then Dragon, a bit stronger than the other Fire Fists, and he's able to summon things from the graveyard. Very good because of the low monster count in this deck, giving you access to XYZs as well very nicely. And then we have 2 Effect Veiler helping us deal with effects. Cardcar D, definitely need to make this deck become fast in terms of draw power because of the limited monster count. And 1 Buffalo, definitely a choice in this deck. I just think it could be extremely useful in certain situations, so definitely like having access to this. And 1 Blaster, again, kind of a debate based on what you're doing. I think it's more common in 3.5 axis, but I'm liking running it here just, to use its effect to, get out 8-star Synchros, or to blow up cards or things like that, or it can dump Buffalo, so that can be kind of useful. And then 1 Coach Soldier, Wolfbark, recently limited. Not sure if people were running, 2 or 3 in the Fire Fist decks before, but currently running 1 because obviously it can be extremely useful to getting out what you want. For the spells, 3 Tenki, pretty much staple, searching out, your entire deck and having a fire formation card on the field, just very useful. Tensu, some people run this at 1, I'm currently running it at 2, allowing you to swarm very quickly, just very strong in general. Pot of Duality, again we need to have that draw power in this deck. Forbidden Lance helping us protect things, very important because of our low monster count as well. 2 MST, definitely can run 3 if you want, up to you. Dark Hole, and Fire Formation, Gyokkou, kind of helping us out with back row as well, can be very useful. So now for the traps in the deck, Tensen giving us huge attack boosts on the field, can lead to very powerful plays. Call the Haunted, again with low monster count, can be extremely useful, especially with those XYZ plays. And Fiendish Chain, again, helping us with effects. We want a lot of things to deal with effects in this deck. We don't want things to get in the way of what we're trying to do. And otherwise, pretty much staple traps. For the extra deck, we're going to have 2 Tiger King, just a really powerful card, searching out fire formations, negating effects, and allowing him to special summon cards, afterwards. So very nice. Don't be fooled by that 2200 attack because it's going to get backed up by fire formation cards very quickly. And then Fire Fist Cardinal, obviously very low attack, but again, we're getting backed up by these stronger cards. And his effect is also very powerful to kind of blow things up. Kind of like Madolchi's, it can just kind of get rid of things on the field very nicely. Just very powerful. And then 2 Diamond Dire Wolf, definitely debatable if you want to run 1 or 2 of this card. We have a lot of Beasts, Warriors in this deck, so you're able to use this and blow up cards very quickly. But still debating, might run, another Silent Honor or something like that. But we are running Silent Honor. Kagasuchi can be useful. He's able to protect himself really well. Maestroke, Gagaga Cowboy, Blackship, Abyss Dweller, and Exciton Knight. Again, there's some room for other XYZs or multiple copies of other things, but I definitely like running the multiple copies of the ones I'm using to kind of blow up stuff easily. And then 1 Catastor, 1 Crimson Blader. We have Effect Veiler, so we're able to get out those Synchros if you want, and you're able to, use whatever you want, but I think these 2 are kind of the most useful ones right now. So now for the side deck, in my side decks in my videos, I just kind of talk about, suggested cards that could be useful for this deck. It isn't meant to be a side deck for matches. These aren't, for siding against specific decks. I just want to give people advice. Hopefully they can use it when they're building their own Fire Fist deck. So Boar is another choice, giving you access to 8-star Synchros again. So you can run this and run more 8-star Synchros and do other plays, which could be really interesting. The 3.5 axis, I'm not really going to go into too much, but a few of those cards are like Leopard and Rooster and Spirit. I might do that build soon, so you might see more from me on that front, but I'm just not going to go into it. Just keep in mind those are some of the cards you're going to be using. I've seen some people run this with Traptrix. It's definitely a choice, not really what I'm doing. Beast King Barbaros can be very powerful on the field, especially if you run into something like Skill Drain, so that's definitely an interesting choice. Thunder King, another anti-meta meta card that can be very helpful with this deck. Other XYZs you can run, Daigusto can be really useful to recycle things because of our low monster count. Other Synchros, Armidi, Scrap Dragon, both very useful. Fire Formation Yoko could be interesting to kind of dump things, can be useful in combination with some of our other cards. Circle of the Fire King is another interesting choice to kind of recycle things on the field. Again, with our low monster count, it could be very interesting. Rekindling, obviously, it doesn't really work with the 4 axes, but it will work with some of the other like 3-star ones, like Leopard over here. So it could be interesting if you run that type of build. Other Fire Formation traps like Tenki can be interesting, but it's very situational, so it's up to you. And Horn of the Phantom Beast, another way to kind of gain attack boost to blow over your opponent's cards without your fire formations and giving you some draw power. So it's up to you, but I'm currently not really focused too much on it. Another interesting card is Spiritual Fire Art Kurne. Another interesting thing if you want to do damage to finish your opponent off or send your fire monsters to the graveyard to do certain plays that you might use. So can be good. It depends on your build, depends on what you're trying to do. So I'm thinking about it, but currently not running it in this build. So that's my Fire Fist deck. Definitely pretty fun. Very, very strong deck nowadays, so I'm sure a lot of people will be interested in it. I'll definitely be trying out that 3.5 build when I have a chance, but pretty sure the four axis one's meant to be the strongest one right now just because of how simple and efficient it is. But if you guys have your own Fire Fist decks, you could post below, let me know in the comments. You could talk about what cards you use, make suggestions for me. Maybe there's some cards I didn't think about, so that could be really interesting. I'll try to think about those when I'm working on my build. But as always, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you later.